regarding Cuba, especially, what I've seen from the Quebec media about Cuba is, one, they put way too much focus on how bad and how sad it is for the poor Québécois who are going on vacation to Cuba and they can't get back, or they can't go on their vacation. Like, these are not the people we should be focusing on. I don't fucking care about like these people not being able to go on their tourist cruises or all-inclusive vacations in a hotel in Varadero. We're gonna go back to some context. Cuban Revolution in 1959, very simple history. Fulgencio Batista, a US-backed dictator who was maintaining an order which benefited mafias, like actual gangsters running casinos, hotels, trafficking, like actual prostitution rings for the benefit of the US, was overthrown by Fidel, Che Guevara, and all of his other men who got on boats, spread the revolution. After they won, in 1959, the moment that Cuba was established as an anti-imperialist and socialist nation, what did the US do? They whipped out this policy and this line of rhetoric where they said, Cuba is a threat and we are going to do everything possible to stifle its economy, stir up dissent and opposition to the anti-imperialist government in order to justify intervention. And so what we've seen in the last 60 years is incredible sanctions that, first of all, are very unclear to the companies. The US embargo is very vague policy-wise, and they just don't want to take that risk, right? And Cuba is 90 miles away from Florida. So, of course, if they have the choice between docking to Florida or to Cuba, they're going to choose Florida. We've had like a unilateral blockade from the USA, just intercepting any and all shipments to Cuba that weren't just food, water, and like bare essentials. Of course, the US is going to let like the bare essentials through just as a PR stunt, but they're not going to allow oil to be sold or transferred to Cuba. They're not going to allow anything to make actual material conditions of people better. Throughout that, Cuba has had a standard of living comparable, if not better, than a lot of Latin American countries. Yes, we need to do everything in our power to help them with supplies, but the main fucking thing right now is oil. They can and they will prevail with a transition to clean energy. Like, they've been adding like 800, 900, 1,000 megawatts of solar power to critical infrastructure. But there is a necessity for oil regarding their transits, like public transit, cars, automobiles. We need to do whatever we can to support the flotillas to Cuba, to pressure our governments to at least sell oil to Cuba. And like, it's crazy. Like, every single Latin American country has received aid from Cuba. Guatemala received doctors from Cuba to help them, about 400 of them, and they all got sent back to Cuba because Guatemala got pressured by the US to stop all exchange or trade or deal with Cuba. And Mexico was barred from trading oil with Cuba because these Latin American countries are scared of the US. They're scared of what's going to happen to them if they help out Cuba. But one thing's for sure, like, there's a huge element of cowardice coming from the whole BRICS bloc. They're going towards de-dollarization. They are going towards like building their own economic bloc, and they definitely have like a degree of independence from trade with the US. Why don't they just sell oil to Cuba? There needs to be a strong support for the current flotilla, right? There is the Global Sumud Flotilla, who are organizing a flotilla to Cuba with a lot of boats shipping supplies to Cuba, very important supplies. Like, there, of course, solar panels would be incredible to send. I'm just really scared that the US is just gonna come and bomb these flotillas, or at least intercept them. Like, they're gonna intercept shit because what the US has asserted right now is that they can do whatever the fuck they want. They don't even have to hide anymore that their goals or their rhetorics. Of course, they're gonna label them narco-terrorists and attack them. And what we've seen is, in the United Nations at least, every country except the US and Israel have consistently voted against the US embargo, in favor of ending it. So what can we do? As I said many times in this segment, we need to pressure our governments, we need to organize to bring awareness to this cause. If possible, either join the flotilla, link is in the description, send supplies to Cuba, or donate money to one of the causes I've listed in the description for Cuba. And again, let's not forget Palestine. Israel is currently annexing the West Bank and preparing for its plan of Greater Israel. They are continuing the Gaza genocide, and we must do everything in our power to stop this. Remember, the people united never shall be defeated. Have a great day.